To his supporters, he was the wild card outsider who finally broke the system.
Drain the swamp.
To his detractors, he was the wild card outsider who finally broke the system.
This is a fraud on the American public.
From the late-night all-cap tweets to the outrageous comments...
And they say the noise causes cancer. You tell me that one, okay?
Donald Trump's presidency was defined by endless controversies, family separation at the border, faked hurricane paths to avoid embarrassment, revelations he'd paid off the porn star with whom he'd cheated on his third wife.
I mean, these things they just pass by. I mean, it's quite literally hard to keep track of them.
It was a presidency of self-enrichment, with campaign and taxpayer money funneled into his own businesses. Foreign officials famously stayed at his hotels to garner favour, and his daughter Ivanka received numerous patents from China, many of those delivered under the shadow of a trade war.
We're having a little squabble with China.
His foreign policy was scattershot. While Australia managed to avoid the worst of it, allies felt sidelined and strongmen were embraced.
You're doing a fantastic job for the people of Turkey.
During his time in office, Trump reversed decades of policy by recognising Jerusalem as Israel's capital. He became the first president to meet with a North Korean leader. He praised China's Uyghur detention camps. He reportedly protected the Saudi crown prince over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi and refused to hold Vladimir Putin to account over bounties placed on American troops.
Frankly, that's an issue that many people said was fake news.
Trump even tried to coerce Ukraine into digging up dirt on rival Joe Biden, a phone call that resulted in him becoming just the third president in history to be impeached.
A great day for the Constitution of the United States. A sad one for America.
In January, he was acquitted by the Republican-controlled Senate. But that was just a prelude for what was to come.
Millions of Americans have marched under the banner of Black Lives Matter, demanding justice and equality.
The number of cases soaring just today.
Paid less income tax than teachers, firefighters and nurses.
As COVID-19 swept the world, and America ravaged by misinformation and mistrust struggled to rally against an invisible enemy. Publicly, Trump declared,
Could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows.
But privately admitted the truth.
It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus.
Sparked by the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor at the hands of police, protests erupted across the US and the world.
Black Lives Matter.
Donald Trump, who had once complimented white supremacists,
Very fine people on both sides.
left little doubt as to who he empathised with.
Proud boys, stand back and stand by.
Protesters found themselves tear-gassed by their own president for want of a photo op. But he soon became victim of his own mismanagement when he was diagnosed with COVID.
The White House says the president has mild symptoms with no further description.
As America's death toll exceeded 200,000 and daily COVID cases approached 6 figures, Trump continued to hold rallies that led to an estimated 300,000 additional cases, attended by a furiously loyal base unswayed by the promise of a healthcare plan that never materialised and a wall that wasn't built.
He's done so much, and he says, I can do more, and he's proven he can do more.
4 years on, Trump looks set to end his presidency the way he began it, on a message of grievance, division and denial. His improbable tenure in the White House now reflecting the words he once used to describe the greatest health crisis the world had ever seen.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
I know that America's divided, but you can't underestimate how important this election win for Biden was. Trump getting 8 years, at the end of which where he has to go, it vindicates so much of what he's done, that he's so wrong and so divisive, putting people down, attacking them for disabilities. Getting rid of him after one term, that sends a message that that approach isn't good enough and not acceptable.
That's one of the reasons I found those speeches today incredibly moving. I'd forgotten what it sounded like to have a leader to elevate in a speech and not be all about payback or point scoring. You know, it was all about a vision for the future, and I think that's exactly what America needs right now.
Absolutely.